Hey guys, we're back. I'm live and I am reading more Age of Apocalypse. We're rounding the end, so we're going into a chapter called X Universe. Because all good endings have these like little side story of details before, the actual climax. X Universe is going to tell us a lot of what happened to some of the other heroes, which is a common question. People hear about Age of Apocalypse stuff, and they go, "Well, where was Captain America? Where were the Avengers? Where was this and that?" Well, let's find out. X Universe, the Age of Apocalypse, after Xavier, the Age of Apocalypse. Stanley, Age of Apocalypse, X Universe, Last Stand, based on the story by Scott Lobdell. So here you guys know, people you know. Her name is Gwen Stacy. If her tears had not dried up so long ago, she would not weep, or she would weep, not for herself, but for the world around her. She remembers when this was a golden land, a paragon of progress and tradition in the heart of Africa, guided and guarded by their sacred warrior king, a thriving tribute to the best that humanity had to offer. Or more accurately, she remembers the fairy tale of Wakanda before the Age of Apocalypse. Stacy, is it coming? When is it coming? No one's heard a peep since they penetrated the continental perimeter. All we can do is wait until Stacy. My mama needs you. She's no really hungry no more, but the medicine's been gone so long, and I have nothing left but prayer for her. Income. She just needs you now. Go to her, Income. Run, boy. I'll join you as soon as it comes. And it happens this fast. Stacy hears all too familiar the high-pitched whine getting louder just before she sees it. Boom! Come! She sees the blinding explosion and flaring flash of death and destruction. My little girl's waking up. If she wakes up, guys, I gotta stop. Or I gotta stop, but she won't let me read. Long before she believes it, it happens that fast. But grief is a luxury denied this woman, and shock shifts to outrage in the shadows of their attackers. Freelance human terrorists tolerated by Apocalypse, if only for the damage they do to their own. Marauders, two stateside financiers, Osborne and Fisk, who bought their way into the service as Red and Dirigible. I didn't know that Norman was here. Okay, I'm cool with this. Wakanda, just like we pictured it. The Euro assassin known as Arcade, and whatever the owl is. Barrels wide open, marauders. Pick your fish. Wrist armories, air steppers, individual power sources, some sort of against a preview against a preview pump rifle. I'll start the barbecue, painfully aware of every child's cry for help, every mother's plea for mercy, every echoing scream but her own. Stacy sets her sights on the only enemy she can. With all she's got, and her aim is true though. No! Her sole regret, all she honestly mourns, is the waste of such precious technology. The Marauders are notorious cowards with powers, hunters in name, scavengers at heart, ever looking for easy targets. Love the vintage hardware, Blondie. That particular year is a favorite, actually. Always did pack quite the punch. Just takes so darn long to reload. They could hardly resist a gathered people at their most vulnerable, watching and waiting for a miracle from above. What the are the closest thing in these dark days, at least. Stacy's long since learned to face man, mutant, and machine, survive disease and despair without batting an eye. But something about this mechanical behemoth, the webbed carapace, the spider mandible, still prompts a pang somewhere she can't place, a bittersweet taste on the tip of her tongue of something long lost. The Stark cargo transport in all its patchwork glory, finally. Medical supplies, fresh water, clothing, meal rations, tents. and what's left of Anthony Stark himself. There's your guys as Iron Man, and all in the very capable hands of one Clint Barton. And there's Hawkeye. Oops. 2 down, Mr. Barton. 2 to go. Who did she shoot? I thought she capped Osborn. Yeah, it looks like it. And then he went back. Maybe he's still up, though. I thought he died. Look on. Dual hostiles. Dead ahead. Who? They'll never hit us from... Gotta love the way those power packs light up the sky, Chief. And clear the drop zone for us that's at the same time. Just release the provisions and take us in, Hawkeye. These people have been waiting far too long already. There's Dead Arcade. Do what you can to direct the distribution as needed, while I collect our new... Not another step, stranger. Enchanting. The sunlight playing off, gossamer hair, the blazing spirit in every word. Hardly holds a candle to the fire dancing in your eyes. You must be Stacy. And this colorful piece must be yours. Save the smarms, Snake. Where's Ben? Not the very nicest way to greet our guest, Gwendolyn. Even if he wasn't expected. Dr. Donald Blake. Some see a god in this man. Donald Blake, so you guys don't know, Donald Blake was the alter ego of Thor. And Thor went back and forth between Donald Blake, and I'm not a big Thor fan, so I do not understand completely how it was. But I understand that Donald Blake was like Thor's Superman human form kind of thing, but he wasn't, and he was his own person. I don't quite understand it because I didn't read it, and I should probably look at Wikipedia. But this is Thor. But Donald Blake, Dr. Donald Blake. Some see a god in this man, a healer with a sublime gift for soothing their wounds and easing their pain, the power to help all. But himself, Stacy knows the man within, an all too mortal being who returned purpose to her own existence, offering meaning in a meaningless place, a chance to do the same for others, an inspiration to all whose lives he touches, and that is the true miracle. So she never takes her eyes off she never takes her sight off this outsider in their midst. You look like hell, Donald. Same old Stark. No real class. Back off, Dr. Blake, until I can confirm. Nonsense. See, like I said, they're friends. Some things can't wait. And he hugs Thor and Stark hug. So what are you doing here, Tony? Why would the council send an escort of your caliber on a simple supply run? Because you're needed, Don, back in England tonight. No, why? Not in your condition? More to the point. What about your heart, Tony? Still pumping, Doc? Still pumping, Doc. And I'm expanding my horizons each and every day. It is a scene most prayed they would never witness again. The sight of a full mutant armada filling the skies above the already war-torn streets of London. Once before it heralded the total genocide of every man, woman, and child who fell in its shadows. The very first cut of the bloody swath that would carve through all of Europe and eventually the world at large. But for today, at least there are a growing number of humans here who need to believe that the arrival of Mikhail, the forgotten horseman of apocalypse, may just be mankind's last hope for salvation. Remember that Mikhail went MIA in the very beginning of Age of Apocalypse when we were come back. Mikhail is reality warping. He has reality powers. He does a bunch of alternate shit. He's also the brother of Colossus and Ilyana Rasputin. Which, for those of you who are like, who's that? That's Colossus and magic. I don't buy this for a second. And I hate playing nursemaid to a delegation we can't even see. And I can't remember anyone asking us, Ben. Can you? It's not that she disagrees. Susan Storm, so now we're meeting the Fantastic Four. Susan Storm has more reason than most to distrust her unseen visitors. The fading memory of her first love, Reed. The burnt corpse of her baby brother, Johnny. But she's far beyond talking about it. She's heard it all before, too many times over now. The arguments for and against the risky rendezvous in these desperate times, and it still sounds to her like welcoming a wolf into the fold. Anyone did bother to Anyone did bother to ask, I'd tell them they were crazy to believe, even for a second, that Apocalypse would care a hoot about what happens to humans. As you can see, they don't got their Fantastic Four powers, so there's a chance they didn't fly into those gamma rays in this world. Hold on. Why did that do that? Stay asleep, Miss Tuesday. I'm almost there. Let alone send a blasted. So he's like, he don't care. Let alone send a blasted convoy. Only thing bothers me worse in the particular stooge he sent as the envoy, this Mikhail creep, the invisible horseman. Because between you and me, Susie, I'd much rather deal with a devil I do know than another devil I don't. It's exactly as you suspected, Prelate Rasputin. The surrounding Zeppelins are armed to the teeth with nuclear warheads. Do you think I'm stupid, Murdoch, that I needed you to confirm what I knew long before leaving the States on this worthless peace initiative? As always, Fourth Prelate Mikhail Rasputin knows far more than he shares with his personal retinue. Augmented flat scans. Otherwise afflicted humans elevated through his goodwill to a status useful to him. Again, guys, flat scan, I love that term. It's a fucking racial term for our species' term for fucking humans. It's like how when the mutants are the predominant group or whatever, they call them muties, they call them freaks, they call them, gene mistakes and different things. Well, mutants who have like pride in being mutants, they call humans flat scans, and it has to do with the sentinel. When a sentinel scans a human, they come up as flat. There's no irregularities because they're not a mutant. So mutants call the humans flat scans as a racist term. And I've mentioned it before, but I love that. Anyone who knows me, I use flat scan in my regular conversation. Augmented flat scans, otherwise afflicted humans, elevated through his goodwill to a status useful to him. All the more loyal for the power he brings to their pitiful lives. Power he controls absolutely. Try to remember exactly who gave you your second sight, Keeper. And never forget that your place at my side is ensured only by good graces. Now tell me of the boy. Of course, Prelate, the situation is more volatile than we anticipated, with his readings redlining already. We run the very real risk of burning him out before. Unacceptable. The High Council hardly receives us by choice, Murdoch. They would have surely deployed these bombs against Apocalypse Island itself by now, if their navigation systems had not been sabotaged from within already. Weapon X number 3, and we've seen how they sabotage those weapon systems. Change is in the air, human. Like dawn into day, shadows fall away, and true colors finally come to light. But dreams die hard. Landing strips coming in outside. Bring the precision in a little slower, Ben. Where's your sense of drama? I understand the reasons for this little parade, Susie, really. Show of strength, position of power, and all that. I just hate playing the clowns. If quadruple fits Bigfoot, hardy har, when did you go and grow a sense of humor? Look around you, Ben, and get used to it. Until the Council Prime resurfaces from the crisis session, and again, Weapon X, we're hiding. Oh, it says that too, Weapon X again. The guy, product of the 90s, we all have that kind of same dialogue. We're the only circus in. Abort! Abort the landing now! Pull up, Ben! Dear God in heaven, get out of here before. Pull up! You realize we shouldn't be going in without backup, Susie. What's your point, partner? Just checking. Emergency crew will be swarming with these hangars in minutes. They'll be right behind us. But these minutes could cost lives, and invisible grade infiltration is my forte, Ben. Just follow my lead. This site was their field command center, once bustling and bright. With what little power they had, and the few who would wield it. The men and means of their future assembled here. Eurasia's final line of defense. They did it, Susie. In one blast, somebody wiped out every pilot capable of dropping bombs on Apocalypse. And I can guess who that somebody is. There's no sign of the High Council scientist that was what was working the Warhead Project, or the saboteur capable of the wholesale sweet Aunt Petunia. Some kind of thing. Pity the poor humans. No idea what you're truly up against. And so for those you're looking at Thing versus Hulk, and the whole thing, the original Thing is called a fucking him, the Hulk, a thing. Smells like more of the same mutant. With half of the brain. Ouch. Not quite a mutant flyboy, but so much more than the man I was. A monster, in fact. Whether twisted by nature or notion, Homo superior or Homo sapien enhanced. In just the latest in the long line of monsters. Treacherous son of a... Humanity's extinct woman, an evolutionary dead end at best. While I will survive. With their progeny, I finally made myself into something as strong, as solid as a new mutant born. And way too big to cover your own back, Judas. Tough on the outside, all right, but easy enough to get in. Susie, down here, Ben. Don't move till I reach you, lady. Thing pitched you hard enough to, lucky me, they cushioned the project. Then keep moving, partner. That freak could be back any second, and we still got to find Dr. Banner. No, please. This was once a man. Dr. Robert Bruce Banner. A man, so the other thing might not be the Hulk. We'll see what the twist is. Maybe it was him. A man of science trapped in an era of ignorance and lies. A gamma physicist exploring alternative energy sources for potential resistance applications. And one of their own from the very start. Please don't hurt me. Go slow, Susie. Listen to Banner's voice. Look at the head wound. He's in shock. It's okay, doctor. The creature's gone. There's no danger now. But we need to get you immediate medical attention. No, that won't be necessary. Your concern is noted, Susan. Appreciated. But we are already late for the first descent at Buckingham Rays. Please accept my apologies in advance. With our High Council otherwise engaged, as I am certain you are aware, I fear the honor of the moment must be mine alone. Victor Von Doom, ranking officer of Eurasian Security. So obviously, here's Dr. Doom. In the name of all who still rally to receive you and yours, from every free human sovereignty left in the land, welcome to our capital, Prelate Rasputin. Such pageantry is needless, Von Doom, and regrets uncalled for. I am here to lighten your load, not to add to it. Mikhail, Mikhail, they're chanting. On this bright night, people of our planet, I come not as an agent of apocalypse, simply a soul in search of brotherhood. War is a common foe, a waste of lives and land, serving no one but the insatiable gods of chaos and death. I offer siege for the starving, clothing for the cold, and the promise of so much more to come. A fellowship for a new world order, a union of peace and power, mutant and man, and a new nation under my protection. Unity, Mikhail, unity! Elsewhere on the massive mothership of Mikhail. Public response is peaking Keeper Modoc, but we're losing the body already. Forces gather. I don't like this, Stark. The crowd's hanging on every word. The history of the times will one day, the history of these times will one day be sung to the highest heavens, my friend, or written in blood and tears. The choice must be yours. As a gesture of good faith, I freely open my doors to Dr. Blake and his entourage, representatives of the esteemed High Council, on a personal tour of my private flagship to prove we have nothing to hide. Mikhail, unity, Mikhail. The future is merely a step away, In the sudden silence, the chosen few had heed the call at first. Vaughn, Doom, Stark and Stacy, Doctors Blake and Banner, Bang Grimm and Susan Storm, players and pawns alike, and without so much as a whisper, the doors slide swiftly shut behind them, and just before all hell breaks loose. No, Mikhail, unity, Mikhail, unity, 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 unity. They surge forward as one, the hopeless and lost, needy and scared, clawing and clutching at one last chance, even as the fourth horseman's ship raises back into the night. Feels like walking into the lion's den and throwing away the key to me. Don't know what those folks think they're missing up here, but they're all acting crazy. Crazy? Isn't it far more insane to ask them to trust your so-called high council humans? To pledge blind faith in weak-willed leaders from the shallow end of the gene pool? I proffer mercy, a quick, comforting escape, and a place of the churning massacre. I proffer mercy, I don't know if it's supposed to be proffer or offer. I proffer mercy, a quick, comforting escape, in place of the churning massacre you self-serving champions revel in. A fruitless struggle for your kind can never presume to win, profiting only your pride, easing none of your pain. Careful, Mikhail. I don't think I like where this is going. A mutant American, considering the obvious efforts put into this reception, all the surrounding guards and state-of-the-art artillery specifically, I suggest we hear what Prelate Rasputin has to say. Ever the diplomat, eh, Victor? But your young Stacy is right to be concerned. By week's end, the howling dogs at your gates will be tearing themselves apart in an ever-growing emotional frenzy of their deepest desires. Fed by my little pet, empath. Oh, I wonder if he's one of those about. Tonight is about death, fools. You few face the Dark Lady every day. Your acquaintance far more intimate than you realize. You've shared her dance, every song. Some among you have even glimpsed the ugly truth behind her myriad masks. You know death too well. And all your sins and you all send her scent most strongly here, drawn to it like the moths to a flame. Ironic that the handful who might have opposed me, those most resistant to Emmanuel's most powerful promise, instead are delivered directly into my grasp. Yeah, real ironic. That's one way to look at it. Next, the world's end. Hi, Human Council. I'm going to try to read these, but it's a little weird on my computer. A member's foster, T'Challa, killed in action. The lesson of T'Challa, last king of Wakanda, is meant as a warning. The herbs of his ancestors, combined with an unrelenting reign of physical and mental exercise, forged T'Challa into the pinnacle of his people, body and mind. Wakanda worshipped him by choice, and he loved them equally in return. But an uncommonly rare deposit of natural vibranium, a unique ore with the ability to melt other metals, made them an envy of the world at large and an inevitable target for Apocalypse. Castle Frank, missing in action. Upon separation from his beloved wife and children in the first American sweep, officers Castle sought penance and pardon in a hidden monastery on the other side of the world. But Brother Frank found peace without price instead. Although pacifists by nature indeed, the forgotten monks were soon offering sanctuary to humans and mutants alike until the coming of Apocalypse. Parker Peter, executed. A potential contact of Operative Stacy never activated after the culling of Apocalypse. Richard Reed and Storm John. Renowned for his strategic genius and tactical prowess, Dr. Reed Richards led one of the earliest escapes from Manhattan Island, along with Ben Grimm as pilot and Susan and John Storm as crew. Richards attempted to evacuate a full contingent of human refugees in his own experimental transship, but a mutant saboteur interfered with the launch, and Dr. Richards and young Johnny Storm apparently sacrificed themselves to save the others from the forces of Apocalypse. Namor killed in action. The legend of Namor is still fragmented, only coming to the surface piece by piece, but recently confirmed by the discovery of the fabled Atlantis by the fabled Atlantis itself. Born of a lonely man and a lost merwoman, and delivered in fulfillment of ancient prophecy, Namor was ostensibly heir to the entire undersea kingdom, equally at home in air or water, hybrid of Homo sapiens and Homo namorius. This singular Atlantean was the first of a new breed of humanity, and the last to fall in the scourge of Apocalypse. It's the end of the world in the age of Apocalypse. X-Men Omega. Like I said, we're coming to the end, guys. Thanks for listening to me. Thank you guys for letting me read to you. This was a good one. I like this one. I'll catch you guys all later. I'm going to post these up on my YouTube soon. I'm behind on posting them. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.